Today we're going to have a look at some of our tree ferns. Let's have a look at all of our tree ferns. So first of all, we're going to start with our largest tree fern, which is a Dicksonia antarctica. And for those of you just tuning in, we are located on the Gulf Islands in the North Pacific. So off the extreme southwest coast of British Columbia, Canada. We are in the southern Gulf Island chain. If we draw a straight line across from our islands to the mainland, we would be in Washington State. We're the same latitude as Washington State. So we would be the same latitude as Birch Bay because we're on the north end of Salt Spring. Southern end of the island, same latitude as Bellingham, Washington. So this is a Dicksonia antarctica. That's a Tasmanian tree fern. This one was imported from Tasmania in September 1991. I still have the newspaper clipping. And I planted it here in April 1994. It was gifted to me by a very good friend and a fellow Palm Society member. Okay, so it was a raffle prize at one of our Palm Society meetings in Vancouver at Van Dusen Gardens. And he happened to win it. And he had it for a couple of years at his place. And it was just too much for him to bring it in and out into the carport and outside for the spring and summer in the half barrel there. And he asked me if I wanted it, and I said absolutely. And it's grown now to 6 feet of trunk. It had about 3 feet of trunk on it. So it's evergreen here. There's been about 5 winters in the 31 where it's lost its fronds. So when temperatures get down to minus 6.5 degrees Celsius or 20 degrees Fahrenheit, you can count on those fronds going. So if slightly below, so 20 degrees Fahrenheit or below, those fronds are going to go. But if you protect the center crown where the crosiers emerge, you are going to get new fronds coming out every year. So let's get up into the center here and you can see what's going on. So at this time of the year, you can see they're starting to push. There's the nodes coming out. The giant fiddleheads will unfurl. Often it will put some out in August as well, late summer, but it pushes the majority out in the spring, early spring, sometimes late winter they start to push. And sometimes you get 3 or 4 stragglers that'll come out in August. All right, so water these guys generously through the dry months. This trunk is made up of roots. Okay, so I water it every day in the summer through the center of the crown up here in the center, and it just kind of wicks down through that trunk. This is a heavy plant and absolutely beautiful. So that's a Tasmanian tree fern, all right, or Dicksonia antarctica man fern. And that's probably one of the best ones for this climate here on the Gulf Islands in the North Pacific. You can see I planted it in an alcove, very sheltered. And we don't get cold winds here, thank God. And then I'm going to show you some other ones that are less hardy. And these ones we have to bring in when it gets ugly cold. These ones are Cyathea cooperi, and they are the Australian tree fern. So they have a thinner trunk. They grow at a faster rate. And these ones are actually pushing out as well. You can see it's opening up a frond here because they're in the basement. It got kind of dry in there. I cut the other ones off, but no big deal. This one's got a trunk here. I bought these at a grocery store probably 6 years ago. They were tiny little things at our grocery store. So, and then here's another one here. These are Australian tree ferns, and they'll look absolutely beautiful. Give them a month and they'll be having so many fronds popping out of these babies. So there's the trunk here. Best not to touch the fronds when they unfurl. Sometimes it can turn them black. They don't like to be handled. So that's the Australian tree fern. And then I'm going to show you another Tassie tree fern. We have another one here, a small one in the garden that's survived quite a few winters. And it's amazing because it's not a very big fern. Kick a few leaves over it and it actually is evergreen. Here in this sheltered location of our garden, right here, here's another Tassie tree fern right here, and I can take some of those leaves off. It might be unfurling leaves right now, fronds. Be really careful. So you can see, so that's a Dicksonia antarctica, and the little trunk down there. Yeah, looks like it might be pushing. Oh yeah. Anyway, there you can see there's the fronds on it, and that's a baby Tasmanian tree fern. So there you go. There's some of our tree ferns, or sorry, all of our tree ferns that we grow here in our garden on the Gulf Islands in the North Pacific. Thanks for watching, guys, and try one in your own garden. Just make sure you know how to look after them properly if you're in this area on the planet. If you know what I mean, you get a really bad winter and you don't know how to look after it properly, well, then you're going to kiss it goodbye. Cheers.